Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel for another war video. This was War 10 up against XK9, a battle between the second and third place alliances in the world at that point, and we knew we had to give our best effort here, so I'm splitting this path of Zarafa, taking this weapon X with Nimrod. The game plan here is very simple. I'm just going to parry a lot, get a ton of armors. I throw a heavy here and there to build some power while limiting my hits in the incinerate phase. And then I'm going to simply get to special 2. I have 16 armor ups, each increasing my damage, and we're ticking for over 8,000 a second, and that's the fight. So Nimrod, no suicides, just boosts. Absolutely destroys that weapon X. And moving on, I'm going to just go up here, place Odin's on this Cersei for Zarafa, and then he'll clear me to that scroll. Making sure I get the right one there because I do need my Odins later for a rich get richer path. And with a little communication. And moving on. So next up we got the scroll after the Cersei goes down on the Scared Stiff node. What used to be Mixmaster. And we're throwing on our Mystic boost here, as well as a combat regen. I'm not too worried about this fight. We're basically going to completely shut the scroll down and open section 2 up for people. I've got 99,000 health with the cow, which is crazy. And we're just going to go in here and try to stay aggressive. I may lose track of bubble shield at one point or another, but with inequity, which I always run maxed, and just how tanky Rintra is, we're never really in any danger in this fight. So here I'm just wailing on him, building up some ruptures. Got 32, it's a good stack. Throw this, it doesn't crit, but it still does 62,000 damage. And there I back off just to get this special 2 out of him. I do see that the falter is coming up soon, so I miss and then immediately back off, and then go back in. I'm not able to stack as many ruptures this time around, but I get like 28. A good chunk. Throw this off again, no crit, but 56,000. And we're at 9 bubble shield charges. I think I messed this up at some point here. Maybe not, can't remember. No, I think we're just gonna throw this SP2 and finish the fight. Yep, so I guess this fight went pretty well. 150k crit there at the end. Again, very straightforward with Rintra. You're just doing classic Rintra things, beating him up in the corner. So we're moving on to path 8. Taking this gore here. This fight can get a little tricky if you don't have some buffs on you with Rintra, just because he's going to gain a lot of power, but with 2 buffs and the fact that we're going to be shutting down some of his other buffs, we're going to be pretty much even on Rich Get Richer, so this fight is not too bad. We're either going to be... He's a little bit ahead of us right now, but as soon as we get some power gains, we're going to be even. And we're just going to start beat him up. This is where Rintra's signature ability, where you gain that power, actually becomes a little bit annoying. You're not able to stack as many ruptures. I still think it's a good signature ability, and I'm not upset that I have it. I'm gonna throw this off just to get my power reset. It's still gonna hit decently hard, and at the end of the day, I'm not too concerned about this fight's trajectory at this point. Throwing another one off, we're already up to another bar of power. We're ahead at this point on Rich Get Richer. He's only got the 1 buff, and we're just going to throw a couple hits into him and finish the fight. So, this next fight, I sped up a little bit. We were thinking about this fight. We're always going to be even. She is a conduit defender, so I have to do the conduit playstyle. Neutralize is going to not be as effective as normal, because, again, we're going to get glanced a fair bit, but it stays up enough to control the fight, and again, she's only ever going to have less buffs than us, so we don't have to worry about it. And as with any conduit fight, the game plan here is to simply use basic combos, which you're going to see me doing. I'm not going to throw the special, I'm just going to let the ruptures tick. The problem here is that she is going to glance a fair share of them, and I also didn't want to do a light ending combo into her block to root myself, because I wasn't sure, but I was almost positive that she could glance that and it wouldn't trigger, and then she could combo me, so I just didn't want to mess with that. So I play this pretty standard parry, just hit her a bunch of times, back off, parry, hit her a bunch of times, bait out specials. And again, I sped this fight up a little bit because it isn't fast, but it allowed us to not have to split this path, just letting Rintra do all the fights, even though they're conduit, which costs us a little bit of time, but at the end of the day is safe and allows us to have more versatile teams on other paths, instead of having to send a couple different champs here to deal with this path. So, very straightforward fight, again, just hitting her. It's taking longer than a normal Rintra fight, just because of the fact that, again, all we can do is throw basic hits and she glances just an absolute ton, so it's not the perfect assignment. My favorite is probably War Machine for this fight. You can also send CGR, but yeah, War Machine's my personal favorite and what I would probably send there if we didn't have to plan around getting Rintra over to this side. So next up we have Gallon, again another conduit. Aspect of Evolution, Rich get richer. Again, we're going to be fine on buffs, and the game plan here, because he's conduit, is again to just let Ruptures beat him up. There's no glancing here, so we will be able to consistently place Ruptures. I do think I make a mistake dexing one of the specials at one point, it kind of hurts, but again, the only real issue in this fight is the potential for buffs to start getting through at some point when he's had enough bars of power, and the ability accuracy is no longer shut down by neutralize, but it's going to take quite a few bars of power to do that, and by that time, again, it will not be the end of the world. We can just throw off our special 3 at some point if we really need to decrease his planetary mass, and we're just going to do our normal thing, standing there. Yeah, there I mess up again, but it's fine, we're rooted. Hitting him in the corner, we're stacking Ruptures. Again, not my cleanest cow fight by any means, but at the end of the day, in this fight, you're just at such a big advantage over this Gallon, unless you kind of stand there and let up and let him really start hitting you with full specials and combos. I think you're going to be just fine in this fight. Again, just stacking Ruptures. Speaking of full combos, there's a couple hits to the face. Things that you don't want to do. Just trying to keep baiting these SP1s just because they're already kind of starting to hit pretty hard through the block. See there, you see a buff get through. I wasn't sure if my neutralize fell off or... Yeah, you're gonna see that one hurt a decent amount through the block. Thankfully we were rooted, so it hurt a little bit less. And we're approaching the end of this fight, so it's a very safe fight overall. I still had probably 75,000 health to work with, which is just ridiculous. But throw out this SP3. Should close out this last 3%, even if it didn't, we'd still be okay. But pretty straightforward fight, just took a while. And that was a war for me. Overall, good war for us, locking down kind of the approach to top 2. We need to win one more after this one to get top 2. But spoiler alert, we were able to do that. So this was really the big war to lock in top 2, and we won 9-3. I think we had a death per battle group. But really happy with it overall. Been a great season so far, and if you guys liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe for future content. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.